What changed with the offense during the second half? I think you scored on all 5 drives, 4 touchdowns. What was different?
Yeah, we definitely came out with a sense of urgency that second half. That was the biggest thing, and we made some critical halftime adjustments there. As you can see, I ended up running the ball a little bit more there, and that was something that we knew we could exploit there after that first half. So, and we got an attitude about us there. The second half, we really just started to grind it out and wear them down, and it was really good to see. Really good finish by our guys.
What was that first drive of the second half in establishing that attitude then?
Oh, we always say the first drive of the second half is the biggest drive of the game, and to come out there and go right down and score. That was huge and that was critical, and it gave our defense a lot of momentum as well. And then I think we got it back and went down and scored again. So that was big for us. And like I said, that first drive of the second half is always critical for us.
You got a little hitch in your giddy up there, Carson. You got a little leg injury along the sidelines there, or what?
I got my ankle rolled up on a little bit at the end there. I should have thrown the ball away, but it happens.
You running more in the second half. Was that something that you saw in the first half and suggested to the coaches, or did they come in and say, this is what we're going to try and do?
They came in and said, this is what we're going to try and do. We had a little bit of it in our game plans, but like I mentioned earlier, it was just a really good halftime adjustment by the coaches. We saw we could exploit some things there, and that's what we did.
Kyle, you played some good games this year. Is this the best you've played all season?
I guess I don't look at it like that. I look at it as we beat our rival, and I was just happy I could play well. Defensively, we played pretty well in a big game like this. Individual stats I don't get too caught up in, but I'm just really excited for this team. I think that was the biggest team win we've had all year, especially these seniors keeping this rock in Fargo.
At what point during the first half did the defensive line kind of get the feeling that you could have a big day?
Well, I think coming in, I liked my matchup. They switched tackles early on. That guy was, he was a little bit taller. I still liked my matchup against him. I saw him on film and stuff too. But it was a total team effort, like I said earlier. And I think as a D-line, we did a good job twisting, doing some different stuff, and obviously the guys in the back end did their part.
What are some of your emotions for just winning the Dakota marker 5 games in a row?
Yeah, it's especially a game like this. It's hard to describe. I was telling the guys at halftime, when we're down 4, these are the ones you remember. Close games against your rival, and I'm just ecstatic, like I said, for these seniors, for these guys to keep this rock in Fargo, and we'll try and keep this going against Northern Iowa.
John, with Carson running, how much did that free up holes for you and King as the game went along?
A great deal, because we need that extra element to the running game, especially, people don't know about this, but he can really run really well, and that's not too good. But, and that's something that we were and it was in the game plan. We were going to do some different things because they know us so well, but they've been playing us the same type of style for, I don't know how many years that we've been playing each other, so it was good to have that element to the game.
Well, 4th and 1 play, is that a changer? Describe that sequence there.
I think anytime you can stop a team on 4th and 1, I think they're having a good drive, and to be able to stop them on 4th and 1 is huge. It's a turnover, we consider it a turnover, and then you give it back to our offense, who was hot there in the second half. It was a huge momentum swing.
John, earlier in the week, you wasn't obviously the main focus, but you talked about a little bit of the rivalry with Zenner. You feel like you got it today?
We got the win. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Was there a little bit of more of a chip on your shoulder? I know talking to you earlier in the year, sort of talking about being in their sort of shadow. Was there more of a chip on your shoulder for this game?
I guess you can say that. It's Dakota marker, if that's what you're asking me. But at the end of the day, he's a great player, and I like to be able to go head to head with great players every week in and week out. There's all great backs in this league, and I like to say that Zenner and myself are up there with the best of them.
It seemed like the defense kind of went to another level after your interception. It was kind of a close game there in the second half. What did that pick do for the defense for the rest of the game?
I think at the point in time, it was 6 minutes left. Offense was rolling the whole half. And we just needed to get a stop because we were up by 10 points and be able to get a stop, and especially in their side of the field. The offense had put more points on the board at the end of the game with 6 minutes left is, pretty much was a dagger in that point of that game. Beck, that was huge. I just caught it. It was fell into my hands pretty much. Beck, had good man coverage, and he was able to make a play on it and then tipped it, and I just kind of fell right into place.
Colten, comments on your senior class doesn't lose to SDSU?
Yeah, I guess, first, Kyle touched on it, the team win that we had. Defense was playing well in the first half. Offense was still trying to find a rhythm. And the second half, offense just exploded and be able to put points on the board and defense come like that. And then you also mentioned the seniors. I mean, for some people who haven't played here, I think you don't realize how much this means as seniors. And it's a huge win. First of all, to get us that much closer to Missouri Valley, and then to get the marker back our senior year is huge.
When your offensive line starts pounding like it did the second half, what's that like to run by them? Because you're getting 5 yards.
It's easy. I mean, they're the best offensive line in the nation, in my opinion. And I know at the end of the day, it might not go on this play, but somewhere down the line, they're going to figure it out and they're going to get the job done. That's something that builds, confidence in me, knowing that they're going to do what they need to do. All I need to do is keep putting it in the hole and do what I do.
This is for any of you guys. Coach Kleiman was commenting how you guys are staying hungry. How do you accomplish that, and how important is it for this final stretch coming up of the season?
I think you've seen it the last couple of years in terms of not being complacent. I think it starts upstairs with the leadership and the coaches, and then the senior leaders on this team, and players buying into what the coaches are saying. So it's just a mindset, and it's been the formula here for the last 5 years since I've been here. Is just not being complacent. You can always get better at something. Sure, I didn't play a perfect game today, so going out through the week, we prepare like champions and let the games without the chips fall during the game.
Colten, defensively, when you see a pass rush like that, do you guys feel like if you could just lock their receivers up for a couple seconds, they're going to get to the quarterback?
Absolutely. The last couple of years we've been fortunate with a great D-line. And the back end, you have a time in your head that the D-line's going to get there. So, I mean, you're right on the head on that one.
Halftime, was the offense upset, frustrated? I mean, what was the mood, having to settle for some field goals and only putting up 6 points?
Oh, yeah, we're always a little frustrated when we have to settle like that. The first drive coming out there,